Afternoon, VC. Alright, so this is going to be the final video of the year for me. Getting it in at the wire here. So this is going to be my best online finds for 2022. Except I'm leaving out two major things here that I've already done full videos for. One being the recent Carolina Soul auction. So I'll leave a link to that video. Those were probably the rarest and best records I found this year from that absolutely crazy collection. So we'll leave that as is, as its own video. And then the most remarkable find I'll ever probably have doing this whole collecting records thing, which was the Clarence Williams Shellac from 1933 in mint shape, the first ever known composition from Sun Ra. That's sitting at the bank in a safety deposit box, so I can't really show that today. So there you have it. There's a separate video for that. I'll leave a link to that as well. That was featured in Goldmine Music Magazine. Things to Tone Scott out in LA. So yeah, those were the Carolina Soul, and those shellacs were the cream of the crop for me this year. But I have some amazing stuff here I'm going to show. These were online finds only. I'm going to try to remember where I got them all and go through them as fast as I can, so this ain't a crazy long video, but there's a lot here. The first is the Charles Tyler Ensemble ESP disc, original. One of the more difficult records to find on ESP disc. I collect the label. This is a absolute mint copy. I want to say Citizen Vinyl is the name of the place in Asheville. They have a pressing plant there and everything, in a shop. And I really can't recall how I knew they had this and the other Charles Tyler, and I got them both from them, and they shipped them to me. So there's that one. Great free jazz record. The next is one of the prized possessions in my collection that I was able to find. I remember Alex or somebody went into Atomic and saw this record on the wall there in December of last year, and I called Atomic to see how much he wanted, and the guy was like, $1,000. And he's like, it's the only time I've seen it in 48 years of doing business, $1,000. And he was all like, I wouldn't buy the record. Well, I'm not for $1,000, but he wouldn't budge on a price. So I was like, well, I'm never going to get that record. And I got back from New York, and in early January, one popped up on Carolina Soul, and I don't know if what the deal was, but I don't think anybody knew what the hell it was, because I got it for a quarter of that price. And that's Lacey Gibson Wishing Ring, original copy on the L Saturn label, Sun Ra's label. Fantastic blues artist from Salisbury, North Carolina, just up the road from here. And this is an autograph copy, signed by Lacey Gibson. So this, and it's a fantastic blues record. Amazing find. One of the best I've ever had. So it was a hell of a way to start the year off. The next, I want to say this had to be been a Discogs find. The Keith Tippett Group, an absolute mint copy. It's Dedicated to You, But You Weren't Listening, on the Vertical Swirl label. This one's an incredible album. This is the best UK musicians at the time. There's the Vertical Swirl white label. Yeah, and this just one of the best Discogs finds I think I've ever had. Early in the year. One I never thought I'd find. that. Next, Marcos Resende and Index. This came from Brazil. This is a Philips original. Very dope record. Yeah. And a textured cover. In this series of records, this MPBC series is difficult to find anything on it. So this was I think I got this through a seller on Instagram. I think he's on Instagram and Discogs. I can't remember which one, but this had to get a plane ticket from Brazil. Dope, like fusion style Brazilian. Next, one of the only I think this is the only record I have on the Palm label as far as originals go. Frank Lowe, The Other Side, a free jazz monster of a record. So a French first press. I can't remember where I found this. Yeah, recorded in 1976 by Jeff Gilson. Butch Morris is here on cornet. Just fantastic. Free jazz right there, Frank Lowe. This was one, I think Domin showed this, and so early in the year, and I sought out a copy, and I found this in California, probably through Discogs. Parson Sound, the box. It's fantastic Swedish record, 2010 Subliminal Sounds. So some great psych stuff. Keeping it moving here. Not an expensive record here, but one of my favorite listens of the year. Tomasz Stanko, Music 81 on the Polish Jazz label. The Musa, made in Poland label there. This is a fantastic album. Great trumpet player from Poland, Tomasz Stanko. Happy to find this. This was relatively cheap. I would imagine this was Discogs. Next, this came from a record store in Iowa that's on Instagram. Keith Hudson, From One Extreme to Another. One of the rare reggae finds I had this year. This is really dope. Really dope stuff. Roots reggae. Keith Hudson, one of my favorite vocalists in reggae. I think it's that store that does the big jazz deal where they have a list and you have to email and you get put into a hat for the records on there, and they pick who can buy what. I don't know. It's a weird deal with them. That one I was able to just get straight up. Next are a couple that came from Alex at Motor 247 in Plastic Oddments. Rashid Ali Quintet on the Survival label, Rashid Ali's label. Heavy hitting free jazz LP, original of this bad boy, recorded by Marzette Watts. James Blood Ulmer on guitar on this. He's a badass. And Rashid Ali is just unparalleled on the drums and free jazz. And then you've got, this was a major piece, and I was surprised he sold this, but here it is, Cosmic Music from John Coltrane and Alice Coltrane. This is an original pressing on the purple label there, the private press on Coltrane Records. This one, when I posted this in the Facebook groups, got the most thumbs ups that I've ever gotten on any post. That's a amazing piece of music. Next is an original of Unknown Soldier from Fela Kuti. I've been looking for this for years. I'm a big Fela fan and have a ton of his records. Found this somewhere in Georgia, very cheap, online, one of the stores there. on the Skylark Limited label. So Nigerian original there. This is a record I've been looking for many years, probably just as long as anything, and I had the CD when it came out in the 90s, and that's Fudge Tunnel, The Complicated Futility of Ignorance. One of the best heavy records ever fucking made. Random Acts of Cruelty, The Joy of Irony, Cover Up, those songs right there, check those out. I mean, you're not going to find anything better in heavy music, as far as I'm concerned, than this. On Earache, original, very hard to find. I think this came from Germany, and it was just half the price of all the other copies. Probably Discogs there. This was a major Sun Ra piece. I got this from one of the shops in Sweden online. I can't remember if it was Top 5 Records or the other one, or if I got it from Larson over there in Sweden. But that's Sun Ra, the Sound Mirror. One of my favorite Sun Ra records. This is an incredible LP. El Saturn original. This came from Carolina Soul. The Cramps, Songs the Lord Taught Us, original pressing of this, and it's a promo copy. I'll show you the label on this. This is a really cool label. I think it's Illegal Records or something like that. Really good guitars on this. Killer riffs. Great songs. This is a hell of a. I'm now really into the Cramps because of this record. Here's one. I'm not sure where I think this is eBay. Yeah, I got this from a guy in like Montana or something like that. Battalion of Saints, Second Coming. Original pressing of this. It was a really good deal because the cover is not in the best shape. Great punk. I believe these guys were from San Diego. I could be wrong, but this is a heavy hitter. Punk. I'd like to find the record that came before that. Hard to find. Back to ESP disc. Frank Lowe, Black Beings. Really tough one to find. I think this was eBay. There's an Asian guy in Los Angeles that has a ton of free jazz records. I think this came from him. This one was a big one early in the year. I got this from Mats Gustafsson in Austria, the amazing saxophone player, record collector. Jonas did a video interviewing him. I suggest checking that out from Sublime Media. This is a major piece in my collection now. Milford Graves, Babby, original pressing. I still can't believe I have this record. This is major stuff here. Let's see if I can show you the record. It's in a separate sleeve. It's on the IPS label. So yeah, I now email back and forth with Mats. It's funny, I'm actually trying to help him locate a copy of another Milford Graves record, one that's my grail to find, the art cover with Don Pullen, live at Yale University, but it's not a record I'm really ever going to be able to afford and or trade for. He's actually got, he's got stuff he could trade for it, or he can pull off getting it. I know that I'm never going to be able to do that, so that's kind of the deal there. That's a great one. Found this, I can't remember where though, the Albert Mangelsdorf Quintet in Asia, Now Jazz Ramwong, just a phenomenal cover. Original on CBS. I found this from a seller in Germany, because I think it was pressed. I think it's CBS German press. I could be wrong. Great jazz record from Albert Mangelsdorf. Trombone, good stuff. Um, this was another seller in Germany. I got 5 of these records. They're private press records from A.R. Pank, the great pianist from Germany. This was my favorite, the Royal Academy Music Performance 1 and 2 from 1985. It lists Bob Flagg as the saxophone player, which is an alias of John Shakai. But the Wolney brothers are here with Louis Maholo on drums. And this is one of the most amazing listens I've had in experiencing all this jazz music over the last 5-6 years. This one's a phenomenal LP. This is one I got from Wantlist Records in the Boston area. So Dave Belson, Record Bug, was his channel in the vinyl community. And I wanted to feature something from him. And that's Robbie Basho, The Grail and the Lotus on the Tacoma Records label. This copy, it's not a first pressing, but I got this early in the year. Great guitars. The singing it takes a while to get used to, but from Robbie Basho, but this is great stuff. He posts stuff on Instagram, and you can see what's on his wall, so you can always, I always just reach out to him on Instagram when I see something. This was on the wall, and so it's now here. This is a band that Sherv turned me on to. He's turned me on to a lot of things other than jazz. This freaking heavy-ass punk band, Los Crudos. This is Canciones para Liberar Nuestras Fronteras. This is the rare Japanese version in this like burlap bag. This is crazy. I'll just show you that. And the next, another one that had to come from Germany. A lot from Germany this year. This is the first Kraftwerk on the Philips label. Masterpiece. Oh God, is this ever good? I still have to find the green cone. That one for some reason is rarer and more expensive than the first. Pain in my ass to try to find a reasonably priced copy in decent shape. That might be a goal for this coming year, but it ain't looking good. This was a steal, another one, I think from Carolina Soul that went under the radar. Bayard Lancaster, It's Not Up to Us. Or it might have been another eBay seller. I can't remember. Alex might be able to remind me. I remember him saying how good a deal I got on this. Another one I never thought I'd have on the Vortex label. It's got a punch out. Maybe that's why it went so cheap. I don't know. Not my favorite record from Bayard Lancaster, but really good. I've got a few records from this artist this year. This is one that Jim at Channel Rufus had done a feature on, and I immediately put all his stuff on the want list. That was years ago. Farouk Zbey with Northwoods Improvisers, Rwanda. There's a seller in Michigan that has all this stuff from Farouk Zbey. He is associated with the band somehow, and I can't remember the exact link, but I've been able to get a few pieces from him. I need to order the DVD from him. He's got those. This is live studio recording from 2005. Phenomenal jazz. Really good. Sorry State Records in Raleigh. They're known for punk records, but they also get collections in, and I was able to get this really cheap because the cover is in bad shape. It's got a bend and it's starting to peel. Keith Tippett, Blueprint, original first pressing on RCA Victor. So I was very pleased to find this. Great pianist, Keith. And this was produced by Robert Fripp. A very rare UK original there. This one, I can't remember where I got this one, but it's ICP Tentet. Yeah, Teterette. A huge group. I love this label. I try to find anything I can on it. John Shakai is here. Peter Brodsman on tenor. Alan Silva bass, Han Benink on drums and bass clarinet. Just to name a few players. Misha Mingelberg on piano. This is fantastic free jazz date. This is one I got from Tom Minko off his eBay. Teramaso Hino meets Reggie Workman, A part. The Japanese pressing, not a first press, but an early press. One of my favorite records of all time. One of the best jazz records ever made. Reggie Workman is absolutely incredible on this. His masterpiece as far as bass playing is concerned. And Teramaso Hino is just a brilliant trumpet player, highly influenced from Miles Davis, but can go into free mode as well. This is a stunner, and this is on what label was this? Overseas Records on that one. This is one I found in. This is the only record I've ever ordered from Israel on eBay. Bismillah Khan Raga Todi Mishra Thumri, an original on his master's voice. Phenomenal ragas here. Just brilliant. This is one that Teddy turned me on to. I think Belson turned him on to it, and then he passed the info on to me, and I got a different copy, and it was in perfect shape, and Teddy got a copy as well, and his was in bad shape. So I traded my copy, and he sent me a groove washer kit, so it worked out, and I found this one right after on eBay to replace it. This is killer. A few more Felas. Originals. These were like 30 bucks or something. They were super cheap on Discogs from a seller. This seller in Georgia again had this one. Might have been Wuxtree, somebody like that in Georgia, I think in Athens area or Atlanta area. This is Fela Kuti in the Egypt 80 original Sufferhead, one of his later albums. This is an original Nigerian pressing. This is a dope LP. Cover's in great shape. I'll show you the record on this one. I'm trying to go through these fast. On the Lagos International label. Not a label you see every day. So that was a big one to find. Cheap. Really nice sleeves they used on these too. There's a seller on Instagram, Mono Records in LA. I've only gotten one record from him just because condition always looks dicey. On his prices aren't the cheapest. But another Fela in Africa 70 Authority Stealing original. There's the label on that one. Dope Fela, you know what you're gonna get with Fela Kuti. Dope Afrobeat. I wanted to feature Dusty Groove. This is probably the best record I got from Dusty Groove this year. Original of Arica, Heaven. This is just that. It's freaking what you'd probably hear in heaven. This is phenomenal stuff. You can see the instruments there, sitar and the like. Beautiful music. I'd like to find some of the other records from Arica, but they're hard to find, especially originals. This was a really good deal. Dusty Groove in Chicago. This was eBay. Marion Brown, Afternoon of a Georgia Fawn. This was super cheap, and it's this is a Wild Affair. Not my favorite ECM, but it was a white label promo. Yeah, this one's out there. Stuff. Sticking with Marion Brown, this was an Amoeba Amoeba Los Angeles find. They got a rare collection in, and just a few pieces happened to sneak onto the internet on their site. This was Marion Brown in Summerhausen. I'd been looking for this for a few years, and so to find it there was fantastic. Gene Lee is on here, Marion Brown and Gunter Hampel, Steve McCall, to name a few. Very rare LP. Recorded in 1969. Yeah, this is a West German copy on the Kalig label. Let's see. This was shop in New York City, and I can't remember which one, but this is the Far East Family Band. Jim at Channel Rufus had talked about some of the crazy Japanese psych bands he was checking out, reading that book that I got, and so I got into some of them. This is one of them. This is an original copy with the obi, so yeah, Japanese original Far East Family Band. The Cave Down to the Earth is the name of that record. This is one that Jason Hackman, I think 377 is his channel, out in LA area. He's turned me on to a bunch of South American stuff, but this band blew my mind. Totem. This is not a first press, but I think a second pressing. This came from Uruguay, I believe. eBay. Dope LP. So that's the LPs. Great online stuff. Show a few of the rare 7 inches from this year that I got online. This Jamaican single from the Black Eagles, Peace of Mind. Super freaking dope. That came from the UK. This was from Freakbeat on their eBay. Can, Moonshake, and Future Days. An original promo, UK promo on United Artists. Great krautrock. I got these from a seller on eBay in the UK for a few bucks. I don't know why they're so cheap. Well, they're not in the best of shape, but Paul Ngozi on the Sound Project label, there's a couple of these. Not really sure that this one's Vic Wati on the A side, Zambian rock originals. And then another one, Paul Ngozi. I just love these labels. And this one is, I think Anyambe is on the A side on that one. This was a split Los Crudos and Huasapungo. This one's rare. Can't remember where I found that. I think a seller in Chicago had this. This is really, the Los Crudos is just a fucking badass band. Thank you, Sher, for turning me on to them. This, I can't remember where I found this, but it was cheap. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. The Flower Traveling Band Satori single, original, UK on Atlantic. Still with the thing in the middle there. Dope Japanese psych. But my favorite find, one of my favorite finds ever, is this single I got from Lagos, Nigeria. It came all the way from crazy ass seller on Discogs. He won't ever leave you alone. Once you buy one record, he assumes that you're gonna buy from him forever. The guy's nuts. But the Hikers, God Gave His Only Son on the EMI HMV label in the original bag. Super rare Nigerian, almost in the vein of Zamrock, but this is one of the best African songs I've ever heard. And Stone the Flowers on the B side. This is something that I became aware of through Egon from Now Again Records. I think he's one of the only other people I've ever seen with these kind of records. But I found one somehow through some dude in Nigeria. And I got just a few rare CD finds online this year. We'll show you these real quick. Abe Koru, this crazy Japanese sax free jazz player, lived like a crazy, he was crazier than shit. But winter 1972, Henry Rollins actually turned me on to this one. So there's that. This came from Amoeba, San Francisco. And then another Abe Carew, and I'm not even sure the title of this, but this one I had to get from Japan. This is on the DIW label, Disc Union, which is a big record store in Japan. If you watch, what is it? I forget what the guy's channel is in Japan. Field something records. He's been to Disc Union. That's another Abe Carew, and then the rarest CD find. Been looking for this for a few years, and I know Sherv's been looking for it as well. I collect the Aramite Records label, a great free jazz label. Mostly it's on CD, but Getting Away with Murder from Tom Bruno and Sabir Mateen, just a duo, and they recorded this in the subway in New York City. This is phenomenal. The thing that's great about this is an autographed copy. Peace and God Be With You, Sabir Mateen, he autographed it in pen on the inside to whoever bought this from him, probably at some gig. I think this might have been, I might have got this from Bop Shop online. So yeah, those were my bigger online finds 2022. Looking forward to 2023. As far as space-wise is concerned in this house, is going to be more in the way of 7-inch finds, unless I can do a renovation in my laundry room and get another 9-holer in there, and then it's going to be on. But we'll see how that goes. Peace.